What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we are talking Skeleton Crew, Episode 7. We're going to be in so much trouble. But before we get into all of that fun, Dave, Doug, how's it going, gentlemen?
Well, Keith, I am fan-freaking-tastic. It's been kind of a long week for me. Migraine every freaking day. I don't know, it must be the weather. I'm not sure, because I feel like I get enough sleep. But that will not hold me back from having this time with you gentlemen tonight talking about this Star Wars show. So before I go into that, though, I'm going to ask you guys how you are so we can just dive right in. So, Doug, how are you doing?
Well, Dave, let me tell you, I am outstanding. I feel pretty darn good. Out of all the days that I've been at work, this was one of them. But I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go take a nice shower. I need a nice shower to relax, get in a good mood, talk about some wars that possibly took place in or around the stars, and I'm feeling good. Feeling darn good. So that way, just like you, Dave, so we can get into it. Keith, sir, how are you doing?
Gentlemen, I am tremendous. Another fun-filled week of being back to work. Finding out today I need eye surgery on my left eye. Same surgery I had on my right eye, so yay! But that's down the road. We're not going to worry about it tonight because we've got Skeleton Crew to talk about. And I enjoyed this episode. So without further ado, gentlemen, let's talk about We're Going to Be in So Much Trouble. A very quick episode, much like everything that dropped this week.
Yeah.
But, the pirates arrive at Aten. Can't say I know no at Aten. Right as the Onyx Cinder does with the kids. And they pull them in a tractor beam. And, a lot of wacky hijinks ensues. We saw Jod kind of get out of being airlocked once that ship blew up. Going into...
Oh, I like how brutal murder of a wolfman is hijinks.
Jude Law did say we would find out a lot about Jod in episode 7, and he was right.
That's an understatement.
The kids trying to protect themselves, they use that little grappling hook and grapple Brutus and say they'll release him if they let him go, and Jod just point blank shoots him and says, "Nah, I don't think we're gonna do that." And I was a little bit shocked. They didn't show it, so I wasn't as shocked. They would have showed. It would have been like Tarantino style, showing
You see the
traffic
splatter
up close.
everywhere, like brain matter and blood all around. The kids are now traumatized.
That's what this episode was missing. The lack of realistic gore.
Yeah, okay. The family picture.
That's the family show.
But Jod, being the fine gentleman that he is, figures out that the Onyx Cinder is the key to getting in, past whatever that is, the outside, the barrier, as they call it. So, they try to wrestle the kids and get them all in control. The kids turn SM-33 kind of against Jod. He starts beating up pirates left and right. And the kids
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'm confused about like how droid programming works. Like, are they just sentient enough to just kind of like make their own decisions? They don't really require a true owner unless they've got a bolt-on or something? Because before, 33 seemed like really strictly like, I'll only obey the captain of the ship. But this time around, he was like, good enough. I'll do what you want, Captain Fern.
Well, remember, he said, Jod, you can't be the captain of 2 ships.
Mm.
And he had already
claimed it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the part to me that seemed a little bit like plot armor, because that just came up at the last second. If they had dropped that earlier in the season or something, like you can only be a captain of 1 ship. Oh, okay, I would have seen that. But dropping that in like that seemed like plot armor to me. I didn't like it.
I guess I
And
would have just said, all right, then I'm an admiral.
I am no longer captain. But yeah, and I have my own fleet. But
Right.
these are pirates. That just seemed like a really cheesy way to get him in trouble.
Mm.
So I didn't like that particular transition.
See, it didn't bother me at all. I was kind of like, he's using, droid logic. Well, you can only be the captain of one ship, so you claimed you were the captain of this in front of that whole crew, so now it reverts back to Fern, so I'm going to do as she says. It wasn't the best executed thing I've ever seen in the show, but it did bother me. This show has been very quick. They don't waste time
Yeah.
setting things up, slowly kind of building up to things and stuff. It's all kind of quick pace and it all kind of flies, So
It's very Star Warsy.
yeah,
If you think about it, that's pretty much how the movies play out. Like, I think one of my biggest complaints of the both Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith, other than the dialogue, is the fact that it seems like they rush through everything, and it doesn't give enough time for characters like Anakin to develop, which is why we needed the whole Clone Wars thing. I do wish that they'd given Skeleton Crew more than it's like little half an hour to give time to learn more about the characters, kind of pace it out, give it a little bit of that Andor thing. But I understand that, again, this is for a different audience, probably meant for a more family or younger audience. So again, I know that I shouldn't use it as like an excuse, not trying to. It's just I get why they're doing what they're doing.
and we do have a Kevin Davis says Disney Star Wars is pretty good. Star Wars TV shows on Disney Plus have been hit or miss. I think all of Star Wars has been hit or miss. The movies,
Yeah.
Look at the next comment. I can't believe that we exactly use the same phrase.
Oh, yeah.
Me, you, and or Kevin, all the same phrase. Hit and miss. But yeah.
there's been some great Star Wars shows. Andor I can think of. There's been good. Well, Mandalorian I think is great the first two seasons.
Mm-hmm.
There's been good. Skeleton Crew,
First week.
Ahsoka, and then there's been bad. The Acolyte. The Bad Batch is good.
Obi-Wan.
Too. Obi-Wan. When
Obi-Wan was below average, yeah.
Yeah.
when
Well, there was one good episode of Boba Fett.
1.5,
Yeah.
right?
1.5. Okay.
And yeah, and then there's the sequel trilogy, which was it just started off and just fell off a cliff.
Yeah,
the
pretty quick.
Force Awakens was good, very similar to A New Hope, but I understood. Hey, they're wanting to. I liked the Last Jedi. I know that movie is love or hate, pretty much, in things.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, and then the
It
Rise of
definitely caused a divide
Skywalker.
in the fandom.
The Rise of Skywalker did something I did not think would be possible, to make me think they could make a worse Star Wars movie than Attack of the Clones, and yet they did. So
I think all three of us disliked that.
Oh yeah.
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 I remember talking about it, like the spoiler filled review back in the old thing, and just we were all just like, how did this get made? How
did they let this happen? Who did this to us?
How dare you? But back to Skeleton Crew, whether you loved it or hated it, SM-33 kind of turns on Jod and the pirates. The kids use that to escape, but unfortunately Jod stowed away on the Onyx Cinder and came out and used his lightsaber to decapitate SM-33. I went from, yay, SM-33, wait, oh no, dude.
Well, he's a droid. He can be put back together. Like C-3PO was blown apart how many times?
He was, dismantled, put back together, blown apart. So, yes, he...
IG-11 made it, eventually they put him back together. So, I got a feeling he's going to be okay.
You're probably right. But he'll at least be incapacitated, at least through probably the end of this first season.
Yeah.
And then he fakes being the New Republic
Emissary?
emissary, thank you. He gets into Atten, can't say I know, no Atten's vault, where there
I-
is
Well,
just
before that, I love the whole like storm thing that they had going on.
oh
That was really cool, flying the ship through that. Like, honestly, I thought like all the storm clouds, I thought that was just around the planet. I didn't realize that they were a bunch of machines generating this like never-ending storm, and then once they got through that, then there's a planet. I was like, oh wow, okay, it's either the storm is bigger than I thought, or Aten is smaller than I thought. Like, I don't know what the deal is, but that took me by surprise. I didn't expect that. But I did think it was really cool finally getting that explanation for like how the original pirate captain was able to get through all of this stuff. When 33 was like, oh yeah, he was really smart. He just stole a ship. It's like, oh, okay, well,
With all that storm around the planet, how do they have sunny days?
maybe it's auto-generated.
yeah, man, that's a good question. I was laughing because I was like, it seemed like those machines were very easy to see while flying through. I'm like, how can people not avoid it? And then it like was just reaching out and blowing all the ships up. And I'm like,
blast, oh,
That's
okay.
thank you for letting me know, you guys.
Oh, by the way, is one of those pirates the one who was on Navarro?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't remember his name, but that's how they're tying it together.
Captain Fishface.
Captain Fishface, of course. How
He's
would I
Lieu-
forget that?
Lieutenant Fishface.
Oh, okay.
And let's see, Kevin Davis says, when do you think the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer will come out? Present at Comic-Con or D23? That movie's not coming out till 2026.
Right?
So I would not expect it. The earliest would be September for D23. But
Yeah.
probably more like next December or something like that. I would not expect that anytime soon. I know it's finished filming, but they got a lot of, CGI and
Post-production,
post-production.
editing, sound design, all that stuff that goes into it.
Then
That'll
Kevin also
break character until the DVD comes out.
Kevin Davis also says Fantastic Four First Steps trailer, possible present at Super Bowl. I would think so. We got the Superman
Probably.
trailer. They're both coming out in July. I did read, I don't know how true it is, that it wasn't ready yet, but I think they have, 3 or 4 weeks to get that ready before the Super Bowl. So I think there's a very good chance we will see a Fantastic Four trailer during the Super Bowl. So, he's
There's
fake.
hopefully a trailer for Daredevil.
Now, I heard there's a very good chance we're getting that this weekend.
Ooh.
Oh,
So I hope we don't have to wait for the Super Bowl, but I would be okay with that too. He's in the mint at and he's seeing all these credits. His eyes are just twinkling with the riches he is going to have. He knows the ship can get him off of there, and he decides the parents come floating down to that little platform down below. And it ends with Jod approaching the kids and the parents with his lightsaber drawn. Once again, doing a good job of ending it, and me wanting to just see a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes, sir. Is that too much to ask?
how long the last episode's going to be? I hope it's not like another 35 minutes.
I got a feeling it will be.
Hmm.
This
Not enough
they
time to-
they seem to, even though they don't need to. We know that these shows can be as long or as short as they want because they're streaming. They don't need to be put in a half hour or an hour time slot on network television or anything. But
Well,
it
it
seems
makes me
like every
wonder.
one of these have been 35, 38 minutes.
It makes me wonder if like there's some plan to eventually move them to like a TV platform, like put them on something where they're going to show ads, something like that. So they want to keep like this, because I noticed that the whole episode format, like as far as timing, I noticed that changed. I want to say last year, because one of the things we used to praise The Mandalorian for was the episode would be as long or as short as it needed to be, depending on the story they needed to tell. But now it seems like they're putting these creators back in this box. Like, no, you don't really get to do time wise. This is the amount of time you have. Cut the story and make it work.
You remember John Watts is the showrunner, right? So, and he's not used to doing TV shows, so he might be learning himself.
Could
That's a
be.
good point.
Yeah.
Very
But yeah,
likely.
no, I kind of agree with you, Keith. I do wish that we had a little bit more to work with because it did feel very rushed. It was like they were, but at the same time, it felt like not much happened, if that makes sense. Like there's a lot of hurry up and wait. If you guys understand that military term, I know Keith does, but it's where you've got like it's like you're rushing through it, but for like a lot of nothing. It was like just we saw the little bit of kerfuffle in the beginning with the kids and well, in the very beginning we see the robot lecturing the adults. By the way, I do love the fact that the adults finally were like, because you droids won't listen. And it's like, yeah, good point.
We are
We get to
programmed not to.
right, exactly. Can't you see our security camera face? We're programmed to watch you.
We want to know what's going on.
Right. But yeah, so like it just seemed like it was everything felt very short. It was like, okay, adults are in trouble. The title of the episode. We're in trouble now. All adults are in trouble. Robot yells. Next scene. Hurry up. Let's go. Okay. The kids get tractor beamed. Okay, shoot the wolf in the head. All right, let's go. Come on, come on, come on. Move it.
Well,
Get to the planet.
even before that, it was like, oh, we put him in the airlock. Oh, this ship came right in from hyperspace. There's like zero room for any scene to really breathe and grow
Yeah.
in any way. It was fast paced. It was just getting from plot point to plot point to plot point.
Oh yeah, they were
And-
hitting all the plot points.
And I still enjoy it. It sounds like we're being negative.
Oh,
I
yeah,
still
yeah,
did
yeah.
enjoy it, but it
That,
did
that's
feel
what I'm saying.
like
Like I
they
kind of
had,
just wish there was more.
yeah, they could have taken a little more time to really let this breathe and grow.
Did you mention the scene that I said was just insert Dave?
Oh no, not
Yeah.
all
Which
they
scene was
do
that?
is jibber jabber. They are so annoying, or whatever.
And then he looks at Wim and he's like, especially you whiny brat. And
Oh.
the little tear running down his eye. Oh.
You know what? I was thinking in that scene, like, he chopped off SR-33's head, which is not gonna, he'll be all right. But if he's such an evil person and he killed the
He probably would have
Wolfman-
stepped on the mouse too, right?
What?
He probably would have stepped on the mouse too if he was really, really evil.
I figured he would kill. Like, why wouldn't he kill the kids? I know it's too much
They were
for the show.
hostages.
Pirates
Well,
are
why
still
wouldn't that-
pirates still have somewhat of a code. And he
I mean,
did.
did Yondu? Yondu didn't have a code. Oh, by the way, they called them the Ravagers. By the way, when he left on that ship.
I heard that. That was.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Nice.
Ravager 1. And I was like, oh, is that an homage? That's kind of cool.
Might have been. Very cool. I didn't catch that.
But I do
yeah,
think
yeah.
pirates still have a certain code. He said he would get them back to their planet, so he wasn't going to kill them. He may do it now. But I do think, even though pirates, I mean, they obviously have a code because even the droid has, oh, you can challenge for captain, and this is how we're going to do it. If you yield, he's captain or whatever. So there's definitely a code, and I think, you can be a bad person and be, lawful evil and not kill kids because you still
That's a
think
good way
that's
to
wrong.
put it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that he's not as evil as I don't know, as I thought they would go with him. I thought if they were going to have him like turn out, because I think he's going to get killed this next episode.
He's not a
He's
Sith. Probably.
Yeah, I think he's not going to make it.
He's
And
just
No, go
more
ahead.
greedy. He just wants the credits. Like he's not evil. He's not doing things to just murder people, and he just wants all of them sweet credits.
Well, I have a theory about him, and it's based on his interaction with the kids in this episode. So when he's basically calling them out, like, you're spoiled brats. You don't understand, the way this world works out there. I think that leads more into his past, and I think, we'll most likely get a bit of a flashback or learn more about him in the final episode. But I think we're going to find out that he's been on the run for a long time. He was probably an orphan from Order 66. Maybe he escaped somehow, and now he's lived a life of, constantly moving from ship to ship. When am I going to get my next meal? When am I going to find my next credit? It's probably not been the easiest life for him. So when he sees these kids, constantly like, whining and crying, oh, I want my mom and dad, and he's probably sitting there thinking like, you have no idea how hard it's been. I was your age and I had to fend for my life. You kids have no idea how easy you have it. You're spoiled. And it was like, as I'm hearing him say that, I'm like, yeah, I really do think he was probably a Padawan at Order 66, and he's been just doing his best to survive.
No, I think you're right. Him seeing these kids who were sheltered their whole life and everything else when he was probably on the run. A lot like Kanan Jarrus, perhaps. Only Kanan, probably did a little better for himself. But you're right. He probably struggled to eat every day. And then got in with the pirates, and that was his way of making money. But he still, that's not an easy life being a pirate. Get killed at any
He
moment.
probably knows the Martez sisters.
Oh, God.
Dave, please don't say that. Because we don't need any more episodes with the Martez sisters in Star Wars.
You could have mentioned any other character.
They should make a show called The Martez Garage.
Kick Dave out now.
I'm glad he's friends with Kevin Feige and not, Kathleen Kennedy, because we'd be getting
He's watching us right now, taking down notes. Why didn't I think of that? Martez Garage.
We'd be getting a Super Bowl trailer for Martez Garage.
It's a comedy too.
See who stops in and says hello. It could
It
could be anybody. The Mandalorian, Ahsoka.
Dave, not
Boba
only is it
Fett.
a comedy, it's going to be a one-camera sitcom with a laugh track
Oh yeah.
and low-budget costumes.
Oh, and Brian B says, other than using the Force, there is zero evidence of him being a Jedi. And that's why it could have been he was a Padawan or a youngling during Order 66 and then was out on his own. So he understands a little bit about the Force, but he certainly has never been a Jedi. We definitely did not say that. We think.
Yeah, no. I do not think he was a full-fledged Jedi. I truly do think he was probably a Padawan or a youngling during Order 66 because he gets some of the stances kind of right. He's not like perfect with them, but you can see a few of the lightsaber stances that he uses when he's like holding it outward or whatever like that. And his conversation they had with Wim in, I think, episode 4, when, he was basically telling him, you need to let go of your attachments. I'm like, that's very Jedi teachings. Like, clearly somebody would have had to have instilled that in his head. I don't know that that's a pirate teaching.
It certainly is not a pirate teaching. And it's probably something he remembered and probably helped him through his pirate career because he knew enough. He knew how to float keys to himself. He knew how to do, little things that he's done throughout the show.
I mean,
but
he used the Force to take off those handcuffs in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, that's hilarious. He was never really in any real danger, I guess. He could have.
And Brian B said all the quotes were wrong, though. Like something a youngling have heard them.
Yeah, exactly.
But didn't really put them to memory. Like, I was a Marine for 6 years. If you asked me what my 8th General Order is, I couldn't tell you. It's something that.
You tell us.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah. Not the Chad out there. You know what I'm saying? But he knows enough that he had some
He's got the
training.
basics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And with the age that he is now, this happening after Return of the Jedi, he's old enough where he could have been a youngling during Order 66. Now,
I think so.
Hopefully, they give us a little insight into how he knows how to use a little bit of the Force. But they may not, because, like we've talked about, these episodes have been very bang, bang, bang. We may just get, whatever's going to happen next episode. I know Dave thinks he's going to be killed in the final episode. He might get out with a whole Onyx Cinder full of credits. Because I'm assuming, this is what I assume is going to happen after that end scene with John approaching. He's going to be like, listen, any of you blow this for me, and I'm going to kill you all. You help me escape. You help me get off this planet with a ship full of credits and back to my, my pirate gang, and you live. And he may leave at Aten. I can't say I know no at Aten, and be gone. And maybe that's the whole story. But they could do a season 2 with them figuring out he's not a real emissary. We might need to send somebody after him, or realize that the New Republic has forgotten, or I'm sorry, the Republic has forgotten about us. We may have to take down our shields and see, reacquaint ourselves with the universe. Or he could take all those credits and become an issue for the Mandalorian, or Ahsoka, or Ezra. Not Ahsoka, she's over in the other galaxy,
Universe.
but for Ezra and Hera and things like that. So there's a few things they can do, but I do think he's not going to go kill the parents and the kids right now. He's just going over to threaten them and basically say, listen, you
Yeah.
mess up my chances to leave with these credits, and I'm cutting you all down. So they're probably going to be, it's the emissary. Yes, he got us here safely. We got a message from our parents to find him, and he knew how to get into the planet, and he saved us all. Now, give him those shiny New Republic credits, or shiny Republic credits, and he'll be on his way. And then the supervisor will be like, well, we did our job. Time to create more credits. Time for the great works again.
And ads.
I was going to say, and that's when he releases the ads.
All right, you ready for my what's next?
Yes, of course.
All right. So I think I'm a little bit more in line with Dave. I think there is a good chance that he's going to either die or have to sacrifice all of his riches. Here's what and this is going to be detailed. I'll probably get half of it wrong when we watch the next episode, but here's what I think is going to end up happening. I don't think Wim is over wanting his adventure, because we heard him mention in this episode, we're going to have to go back. Oh man, I'm going to have to take the assessment again. And here's what I think is going to happen. He's got the parents and the kids held up by lightsaber right now. I think he's going to load up the ship with as much credits as he can get, but I think Wim is going to sneak aboard without anybody realizing. I think Jad's going to take off, and I think the parents or the security droids are then going to reactivate the lightning things to attack the ship upon Jad trying to leave. And I bet at that point, as he's trying to navigate with like half an engine burning off, that's when Wim is going to be like, Jad, are we okay? Kid, what the hell are you doing here? And he's going to probably have to do something. He's going to have to make a decision. Do I help save this kid, or do I get away with my money?
And you think he's gonna turn around and have like a heart of gold and bring the kid back?
I think so. I think at the last minute, he's going to do whatever he needs to do to help save the kid, even if it means losing his ship of credits.
But they spent so much time trying to make him look like a bad guy.
Yeah, I know.
It's the old switcheroo.
It's going to be his Star Wars redemption arc. You know, they all get one.
Oh, so he's gonna kiss Ray. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So
he's
Brian,
gonna give.
Brian B
Go ahead.
says, I think the killing cold blood makes no point, no Jedi training. Most Sith have Jedi training. First scene, he kills an innocent captain cold blood. But once again, if he was a youngling and he sees Anakin Skywalker come in and kill the other younglings and hear how the Jedi betrayed the Republic and it's the Empire, and he's had a tough life, he's going to do what it takes to survive. He's not going to be like, but I still want to be a Jedi and I'm going to do the right thing. I mean, he saw what happened during Order 66, if that's true. And
Survival
he will,
instinct, they're gonna
survival
take it.
instincts. He's scrapping for every meal. He's scrapping to whatever he can do. So he's going to change. He's not the youngling who was at the Jedi Academy. He's now, Crimson Jack, Jod, whatever you want to call him, who's had to fight every moment of his life to survive. So, I mean, he was never a Jedi. We just think he was at the temple as a youngling.
Yeah.
Padawan, if you may.
Even a Padawan, yes.
Yeah,
Things can definitely change. I mean, we've seen Jedi go full Sith, so we know even Jedis can, lose their
With
faith.
all the training.
We can see.
And we're not saying that Jad even had all of his full training.
Right. But we've seen Jedi become Sith. We've seen even Luke Skywalker lose faith and go hide himself on a planet.
Mm-hmm.
So anything can happen.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you,
Thanks
JJ.
for that complete trilogy that you started. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, the most famous Jedi in the universe. What's he doing, JJ Abrams? Oh, he's on a planet. He's sad.
He's
Oh.
drinking green milk straight from the tank, and he loves it. I don't know if you guys saw his face after he drank it, but he loved it.
It's just like his father when he was a little boy. I heard George Lucas explain it one time. Oh, he's a little boy and he's sad and he misses his mom. Star Wars.
Now, I hope we don't get a little mini redemption arc for Jod.
I think we will, but I hope we don't either.
You certainly may be right.
I truly hope that I'm not right. I don't know. Like I've seen enough of these things that I kind of know the direction they're going in, and the fact that they've kept this pretty family oriented, I have a feeling they're not going to go dark in the last episode.
And if he does save Wim, that'll give Wim more. Oh my God, he was a Jedi. He knew how to use a lightsaber. Now I want to be one even more. And we may see, like, the ship crashes back at Atten, and Wim is saved. Jod is dead, and he's like, he saved me, and no one knows we're even here. No one's visited. This fake emissary came. No one's come for hundreds of years. It's time to.
Oh no! What if like General Hux shows up? Like Hux's dad shows up, and he's the emissary, and that's how the First Order gets all their cash.
They never had any emissary show up, and then all of a sudden he shows up, and then all of a sudden another one shows up. That'd be weird timing.
I was.
Ours. We can do it.
But it would help explain how the First Order came into power. They get all that Atten credits.
Right.
But it would be weird to all of a sudden have that type of cameo.
It'd be very weird.
I'm just hoping the supervisor isn't like the Mandalorian or Sabine. I know Sierra wants it to be Sabine, but let's hope that's not the case. I'm hoping it's just some middle management
program or a droid or something.
I think it's still going to be a human because they called the supervisor was going to show up to meet them at the thing, and that's why I think Jod was going over to threaten him and basically say, you better support my story. Or so when the supervisor shows up, I don't think it'll be a droid. I do think it'll be a humanoid. I don't want to say a human. It could be any alien, but
Rampart.
Did you say Rampart? From the Bad Batch?
Yeah, from the Bad Batch.
Isn't he dead?
Well, yeah, I guess he would be. He's trying to tie it in to another show. That's
what was what's his name from the Solo movie? Oh no, he's dead too. Never mind.
It'll be Luke Skywalker.
Oh,
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon. He's dead too.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah,
well, depending on when.
When does this take place?
I thought
same time as Mid.
I thought it took place after Mandalorian season 2, before season 3.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I thought it was after season 3.
He was just taken to prison. He's not dead.
All right.
Now, it could also be somebody, just going that route from the Shadow Empire or the Shadow Council that he met with. It could be somebody.
I can see it being like that. Again, the precursor to the First Order.
Yep. Now, let's hope it's none of that. I do hope it's something along the lines of whether it's Jod escaping with a ship full of credits and them deciding, you know what, he wasn't a real emissary. We've never seen one in 300 years. They forgot about us. Let's take down our defenses, reintroduce ourselves to the Empire.
I got it.
Okay, let's hear it.
The supervisor is the original pirate captain. His ship was crashed there.
Forgot his name.
Oh, it is. Oh my gosh. Hold on.
Rannick? Is that his name?
It is.
Randy?
It is Tad Renaud.
Renaud.
What do you think?
Oh, Tak.
Well, then,
Tak Renaud. T-A-K Renaud. That would be. I like
I mean,
that.
how did he get off the planet? His ship was crashed and buried under dirt. The robot was still on the ship.
Yeah, I assumed he was dead, but that would be a cool little twist. Because he obviously had to have some understanding of Ad-Adin because he had one of their ships and he knew that is how, whether he killed an emissary, a real emissary, to get that information, but he knew enough about Ad-Adin that he could have, if he survived that crash, he could have put himself in as the supervisor. Oh, I like that, Doug. That is good. And then SM-33 will be brought back to life and it'll be like, Captain! And he'll kill Fern because you're not the real captain.
Oh no! Don't do that.
there goes your happy family vibe.
Yeah.
David would be like, yeah, finally.
You know, it's going to be Jean-Luc Picard. They're going to mix Star Wars and Star Trek.
Make it so number one. What are you talking about? We don't say that on our ships. Just do it. No!
and there's my second in command, and she's naked. What? No. You ever see that interview with Patrick Stewart saying like every co-star he has is naked?
No.
Or that he writes up?
But
Anyway.
I do like that, Doug. If we find out that the supervisor is the old pirate captain, and he's just been trying this whole time to get in
off the
contact, get those credits off planet to make his make himself rich. That would be, and him and John speed off together with as much credits as they can put in the Onyx Cinder, and come back every 4 years as the emissary, grabbing a ship full of credits.
Right.
And they're just living large on Space Miami that we saw in Andor season 1. They don't put SM-33 completely just ahead, so it talks to them everywhere they go.
Right.
Oh God.
Its new voice is Miley Cyrus.
She was the voice of the She was the voice of the robot from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
That's why I said it.
Yep. I figured as much, good sir.
Almost as bad as in Solo, Lando taking his robot and uploading it into the Millennium Falcon. Congratulations, you're trapped as the ship's AI forever. Glad you fought for your freedom.
But at least you fly around.
Yeah, sure.
Well, cool. So we've decided no redemption arc. Jod is going to escape with Tak Renard as the emissary, come back for coins, and the next time they come back, the kids are going to sneak on their ship, and that's where Skeleton Crew Season 2 comes in. Of course, unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to get a Season 2 because
I don't think we will. I haven't heard that much buzz about this.
the ratings have been worse than The Acolyte.
Oh, no. Oh, that's a shame.
That is surprising because the Acolyte was so much worse.
Yeah.
Well, I think
This
a lot of
way
kids,
better than the Acolyte.
and I definitely agree about that. I wonder if so many people were turned off by The Acolyte that they are just now like, you know what?
Burnt out from Star Wars.
Done with Star Wars for now.
Yeah, kind of like the Solo syndrome because Solo was a good movie, but it didn't get.
It was. It was a good movie. You know, and I did not I kind of understood people's disappointment with their like dealing with at the time. Like, I'm burnt out. I don't feel like going to see another Star Wars in the theaters.
And it may take, Lucasfilm just saying, okay, what we need to do here? Let's regroup, let's plan stuff out, and let's try to get back because what they're doing now isn't working.
All right. You know what people like? Luke Skywalker. Let's do another thing about him. You know what else people like? Baby Yoda. Stick him in there.
Everybody
but
loves
sir, that
Grogu.
doesn't make sense. Shut up.
I've also,
And you know what? People like Neil too. Put him in there too.
Oh God.
Why is he there? Who cares?
Neil
Sean
and the Ewoks.
Sean Levy's Star Wars film is going to be Luke, Grogu, and Neil traveling the galaxy righting wrongs.
And then they're going to stop in at the Martez garage. Yay!
Oh boy, this is a comedy gold right there.
Once again, Lucasfilm, if you would like to hire us as screenwriters, whatever you need, producers, directors, executive producers, CCOs, president of Lucasfilm, you can reach us at nysqcbs@gmail.com. Please and thank you. Oh, hold on. We just got an email.
Any ship that flies into the garage, it's going to be like early Star Trek, like where they're just using a little toy ship, and you can tell that somebody was maneuvering it with a hand, and you can see the black backdrop like waving in the wind.
But it'll be like ships from Star Trek, ships from Battlestar Galactica,
Yeah.
ships from Buck Rogers. It'll be all of them.
Exactly.
Any
all of them.
sci-fi show that was ever produced, The Expanse will have ships coming in.
A Hot Wheel that they taped wings onto.
You got Tweaky coming in. Beady, 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 beady.
Okay, Buck. Aaron Gray will have a cameo on it. Gil Gerard.
Is that the Orville? Just who cares?
Don't forget Daffy Duck as Duck
Right.
Dodger.
Yeah.
That's right. I would take Duck Dodgers over the Orville. And Stefano, if you're out there watching, I know you said it got better after the first season. I still have not been able to turn it on again and watch it.
Oh yeah, first season it got awful.
It was terrible. I didn't even get through the whole first season. I stopped watching.
It's so Family Guy jokes.
And you
like,
guys know how much I stick with shows. It takes a lot to get me to quit. And
you
that
know, the
first
second
season
season was way better. Second and third season were really good.
You're the one that got me to go back to the Clone Wars. Told me to stick with that after, first half of the season. I think Keith himself bailed on it for a little bit, and he told me to go back because he went back and I went back, and
That's funny because the both of you were the ones that got me into, because I did not like when I first saw the Clone Wars. I'm like, this is a stupid cartoon. I'm not watching this.
The only reason I got back into it, my brother, who had young boys at the time, would watch it with him. And he was like, you know what? I was over there for one of their birthdays, I think, one day. He's like, you still watch Clone Wars? I'm like, I couldn't do it. I quit in the first season. He goes, you might want to go back to it. And I was like, really? He goes, just do it. And I did. And I was like,
they gave them more money. It's better, I promise.
yeah. They're getting better storylines going. It's not about, Jabba the Hutt's kid or whatever. Which, did you guys see that the guy from The Bear, Jeffrey Allen, I can't think
yeah,
of
the
his
guy
name.
from Shameless. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's going to be the Jabba's kid in The Mandalorian and Grogu. He's going to be
What?
playing.
Really?
Yes, unconfirmed, but that came out a while ago, and it was a big rumor around for a little bit, and that he is going to play the baby Hutt from the Clone Wars movie, the first Clone Wars cartoon that came out, which was a movie, which I saw at the theater.
So I'm assuming he's an adult now.
Yes, because it'll definitely be taking place, post Return of the Jedi and all that other stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. The what?
Who knows how long Hutts live unless you strangle them with a chain.
That's true. Well, do we have any more theories on what's coming next? We did have a couple that we threw out.
No, I just pretty much think he's going to bite it, and then the happy reunion with the kids back home. That's what I think is going to happen.
And you heard my two potential theories.
Yep, and you guys heard mine. So let's rate this episode.
Let's start with Doug this time. What do you say, Doug?
Sure. So, I mostly liked this episode. Like I said, my chief complaint was I just felt like they were kind of rushed. They were rushing a lot of nothing. That's what it felt like to me. And I know that sounds like counter to, like, it doesn't make sense. But it seemed like anytime there was anything good story-wise, they sped through it. And it didn't feel like there was much advancement. And by the time anything actually got going, when Jod finally got to the vault, and the credits are falling on him, and all of a sudden we see him turn on his lightsaber against the kids and the parents. It's like, oh, the episode's finally getting good, and it's like, oh, it's over. And I'm not saying like the rest of the episode wasn't good. It's just it wasn't great. When it finally picking up, that's when it ended, and I was like, that's where you're gonna stop. You got to give me more. And so now I have to wait all the way until next week to find out what's gonna happen next. Find out if any of our theories are true. So I don't know. It was
They are.
all of our theories, all of which do not stick together. They're all going to be true somehow at the same time, right? But
Well,
yeah,
we
no,
did see what happened with the sequel trilogy, so
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
It all could happen.
sure. Somehow somebody who's already died returned.
it's gonna be so good.
SR-33 somehow returned.
Sure. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10.
Should I go next there, David?
Yeah, let's go with you.
Because much like Doug, I did enjoy this episode. I thought, the overall story was enjoyable. The acting, especially Jude Law, as we've been saying nonstop, was tremendous in this. But like Doug, it felt like they were just hitting their points, and it felt more like an outline than an actual story. They're hitting the plot points, these bullet points are being hit, and they're just moving on. It seemed like they could have taken more time to develop all of these things and have it, Jod being put in the airlock. You knew he wasn't going to be pushed out. There was no stakes, it felt like, in the whole thing.
Yeah.
But overall, still a good episode. I'm looking forward to see how this all shakes out in the end. I hope they stick the landing, as we always say. Happy they put out a quality Star Wars show. It's not, a 9 out of 10, but it's definitely been good. And I am going to give this episode a 7.2 out of 10. I enjoyed it. It's worth watching. I've watched it twice. Could it have been better? Yes, but I think it is definitely a good episode.
All right. Well, let me just tell you.
Before you do that, Dave, I'm sorry. Read the chat.
Well, which one?
Aggressively relaxing. Unclaimsies was legendary. 5 boxes of popcorn. Yeah, that was funny. The fact that some kid game. Unclaimsies. It's my shit now. Like the equivalent of, I'm rubber and you're glue.
That's like my kids trying to call shotgun when we're not even outside. Can I call shotgun? You're too young to sit in the front seat. You cannot call shotgun. Okay. Well, when can I? When you're 10. Okay, cool. I felt the airlock showed how Brutus did not have control of the crew. Good morning, James. I do agree it showed that he didn't have control of the crew, but they could have let it play out a little longer. It felt like put in, the ship comes out, he knows what's going on, so let him out. It was, like I said, I think the plot and the story overall were good. I just felt like they were hitting their bullet points and not really giving it time to properly, I'll use the term, organically sort of, get the story out. I just felt the pacing was a little bit quick, but I still enjoyed it.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there, Dave.
Oh, that's okay. And that what you just mentioned there, it's another reference to like Guardians of the Galaxy right there. The Ravengers comment and then that. That's But yeah, I agree with you guys what you said about this show. It did seem like it was skimming over the topics kind of quick. And you know me, I like some good dialogue in a show. Even if it doesn't relate to the plot, it just makes it more relatable to the viewer. So that I think that's been missing in the show overall, but especially this episode. It just kind of flew through it. And I didn't have the urge to watch it twice. I did have some phone moments. So but like again, like all season, I don't hate it. It's still above average, but only slightly above average for me. I'm going to give it a 6. And I think that goes right along with our regular rating scale.
Yeah.
Keith's at the top. I'm at the bottom. Doug's in the middle.
Just so you know, that Jod, when he was talking about the jibber jabber and the kids are being annoying, unscripted.
Really?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, that'd be great if it was just like if they just happened to be rolling the camera and he's like, "Oh my God, would you just shut up? You have been talking nonstop on the set. Please." Oh, I mean that was.
Oh, good for you.
Are you a professional or not?
I'm sorry. I'm sure you are. I'm sorry.
The tear that's running down Wim's eye, that's real. He's getting yelled at.
Jude Law goes Christian Bale on kids on the set of Skeleton Crew.
What they did cut out was him cussing at the kids. Why aren't you professionals?
Shut the F up, Wim. That's not even my real name, Jude. Shut up.
I'm not learning your real name. Yeah. You don't matter to me.
Oh. Why do you got somebody always moving around in the background? What is that, your dad? What are you doing? Well, I want to hear this new rumored news that Keith has.
Well, I was just going to say, if anyone out in the chat, if you'd like to tell us what your rating is for this episode, we would love to hear it. If you're enjoying Skeleton Crew or not. Now, the one thing I did talk about the ratings a minute ago, they have been kind of moving up slightly from the first episode, but they are still lower than the Acolyte. So hopefully word of mouth will spread. It'll get some viewership and, hopefully maybe a season 2. But I'm certainly not holding my breath. Now, we are going to go into tangent time because we did get some news. I shouldn't say news. Kind of a rumor, but it came from a source who's been right quite a bit. Do you guys want to hear what it is? Are you ready? I know Dave is. Are you ready in the chat? They have recast Baylan Skoll.
Oh my God. Liev Schreiber.
For Ahsoka season 2. I would have loved Liev Schreiber. Not him. But I saw this and I was like, I can see that.
Okay.
Rory McCann. And I know it. Don't look him up. Stop looking him up, Doug. Stop typing.
I'm looking him up.
He was the Hound from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I like it. I do.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, all right. I kind of like that. All right.
It was funny because I saw a thing that said, Baylan Skoll recast, and I was like, I'm about to be angry. And it was like, the Hound actor, Rory McCann. I didn't know his name was Rory McCann either until I read it. I was like, all right, I could see that. That is some quality casting.
Okay, good for them.
I don't usually say bravo to Star Wars castings, like when I first hear them at least. That's a good one.
Yeah, Ahsoka season 2 is supposed to start filming this spring, so I guess they had to get it done sooner rather than later. So if that is true, kudos Lucasfilm. And
now, if he can carry on that same bass and menace in his voice, just because that's what I loved so much about the Baylan scenes, is the fact that he sort of had this like air about him, like I don't have time for this. I've got a mission. Let's go. You're in my way, and I literally will cut down a hallway of people to get to what I want to get to.
The ends justify the means.
It should be Maisie Williams.
Ooh.
Their dynamic on that show was fantastic.
It was.
Is that her last name? I don't know if that's right.
It sounds right. You're asking the worst person about pronunciation. I think you know that. But yeah, Shin, I have a new.
Well, he said Shin free at the end.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he went on to visit the father and the.
Mm-hmm. She seemed pretty disappointed by that.
Yeah. Let's hope that's true. Dave Filoni, if that's true, I think that's an excellent cast. I'm looking forward to Ahsoka season 2. Hopefully we get some higher quality Star Wars coming out because we're all fans and they have done some things that have been less than good. But not Skeleton Crew. Go out and watch it if you haven't seen it. Binge it. Get those ratings up. because Disney needs their money.
Disney needs, yeah, right. Okay, Disney needs their money. Sure.
They are every film they put out this year made money.
I believe it.
Well, yeah, you got Moana. You got the what's that one?
Oh, wait, you said this year?
Yeah, 2024. Sorry. No.
Oh, I was about to say, like, the year just started.
Awesome.
It's weird because it's a new year and I'm still writing on my checks Year of the Dragon, so I can't get over.
You've lost me at I'm writing on my check.
I don't really. I just wanted to make that joke.
anytime like somebody in the store is handed a check, you can just feel them like die inside of like, all right, flip on the check reader, blow off the dust.
My daughter, who is 16, we got her a debit card, which so I can transfer money to her account and things like that, so she can have a debit card to spend. She was asking the other day, she's like, should I order checks? I'm like, I hope you never need to use one. So no, don't order any checks.
Does anybody use checks anymore?
My parents.
I was going to say, some people still like to pay their bills with checks, but I certainly don't. I haven't written a check in a couple of years, 5-10 years probably. Every bill I do is online. I refuse to have to write a check for anything.
Yeah, I think it's probably been about 10 years since I've written a check. And it's funny, like, I was really diligent about, like, keeping track of everything in my checkbook. I was always writing down any transaction. And then, once bank apps became way more prevalent and easy to use, I just stopped doing that, too. And now I just keep track of everything online. Just like, all right, oh, well, I'm poor again, cool.
Honestly, the last check I probably wrote was like for a doctor's bill. For the longest time, like they would be like, you still owe $68 from your visit or whatever. And there was no way to pay it except for writing a check. But now, urgent cares, everything has like, go to this site, plug in this number, and you can pay it online. It's nice. I actually pay my doctor bills on time because I don't forget about it because I see it every day. I don't feel like writing a check today. Good, I can just see and go, cool, we're good.
You guys hear about the new law?
What new law?
Not a joke. The new law is that unpaid medical bills do not go on your credit anymore.
Because I remember, as long as you were paying something, it couldn't go on your credit. So even if you're paying nothing, it can't go on your credit?
Correct.
Oh, nice.
It's just like the president just signed this bill on his way out the door.
Yeah, well, hopefully it stays in place.
Good for him, yeah. Because
I'm sure there's going to be, some company lobbying Congress to be like, actually, we don't like that.
we're going to lose.
Like
we're going to lose money with that. Can you please change it?
Will that loss of money actually hurt you? No.
Do you support me invading Greenland and the United States Canal?
But it's my money, and I want it now.
The Gulf of the United States.
That's right. The Gulf of America.
I don't even want to talk about that. It's so ridiculously stupid. God.
It certainly is. Well, should we find someone to raid, gentlemen? Like I said, there's not much other rumors out there. I did see someone saying, once again, completely unfounded, or I shouldn't say completely unfounded, but not a scooper that I think has much merit, or any at all, said the Daredevil Born Again trailer was dropping this weekend. But I think everyone is kind of thinking the same thing. It's dropping March 4th, which is 60 days away, or less than 60 days away at this point.
Yeah.
We should be seeing a trailer. We know they got footage. They showed it at D23 and refused to release it. Oh, TG is still online.
Well, I think we should rate him then.
Yeah, he usually goes till around 10.
Yeah.
PG, it's been a while, but here we come.
It's been a while.
Wow. Why are you acting weird?
Well, I just finished a tub of Cool Whip.
Why are you saying it that way?
Why am I saying it that way?
But for those of you on YouTube who don't know what rating is, something we do on Twitch where we send our viewers to another content creator because we enjoy their content. We want to let others know how good they are. So we'll be doing that. But if you're on YouTube and you've been watching us and you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, please do so. It helps us tremendously and is zero cost to you. So we're going to be rating TG. We will be back on Sunday night, and we will be talking about the Creature Commandos season finale, maybe a Daredevil Born Again trailer. You know, we'll have to see if that does drop this weekend, but we hope to see you. Any last words, gentlemen?
Last words? Hey, fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.